Welcome to this episode of Consider It Blacklit. I am Kim Singleton, your host, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, Consider It Blacklit highlights films, television programs, and stage plays featuring African Americans up front and behind the scenes. We also discuss social issues as it relates to some of these programs and how they may or may not impact our communities. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope you continue to tune in each week. 2025 is the fifth anniversary of the band, that's BAAND Together Dance Festival, as five of New York City's most iconic dance companies come together on one stage. These companies are the Ballet Hispanico, Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, American Ballet Theater, New York City Ballet, and the Dance Theater of Harlem. It is my pleasure to have today a dancer from the Alvin Ailey American Dance Company, Jacquelin Harris. Welcome, Jacquelin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I just love the art of dance. I used to try to dance when I was younger, and I happen to know, even though we see it on stage, it's very difficult to do.
It is.
So I want to start off by asking you, how young were you when you knew you wanted to be a dancer, and when did you start?
Well, I started dancing when I was almost two. I have four older sisters, and my mother put all of them in dance. So I think it was kind of a way to get me to do something out the house, but I fell in love with it. I don't know when I knew I needed to dance, but I've always had this feeling in my heart that I've needed to dance. I lost my first tooth at the dance studio. The first shoe I ever tied was a little tap shoe. So I feel like it's always been a part of me. It's always been a part of my spirit.
As a professional dancer, how often do you rehearse or train?
Yes, we work 5 days a week, 9 to 5. I mean, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday during a rehearsal season. And we start rehearsing at noon and we end at 7 p.m. And then, of course, we have to prepare for our rehearsal. So we'll start company class at 10:30. So it's about 7 hours a day of dancing on your feet, learning new material, rehearsing old material, preparing. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of work, but it's also a craft of love.
Oh, wow. It sounds very rigorous. Tell me, what's a typical week like for a dancer? Like, just kind of go through your schedule so we can get a feel, because you're dancing in the studio most of the time, like 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. What else do you do? What's your week like?
Well, on the weekend, I try to get some rest. I try to do some stuff around the house. I try to do activities that I love. So if the weather's nice, I'll go outside and spend some time with my puppy in the sunshine, go for walks, go for hikes, try to get the housework done, try to meal prep so that I can keep myself healthy because a big part of our discipline is fueling our bodies regularly. And then I'll go to work Monday through Friday. I'll be in the studio dancing. We'll be learning up to six different repertoire in a week. We have 6 hours of rehearsal a day, so each hour we could be doing a different piece of rep to keep your brain engaged, keep your brain on. And then if it's a performance season, then we'll have performances. You would typically Monday will be a dark day where we get our rest, and then Tuesday through Sunday we'll have our performances, sometimes as many as 8 performances a week. One on Tuesday through Friday, and then on the weekend we'll have two performances. So you really got to stay on top of your discipline. You got to stay on top of your rest. You have to stay on top of your sleep, and you also have to stay on top of your cross training and make sure that you're doing your stretching, your yoga, your Pilates, so that your body stays in ready shape at all times.
Oh, wow. So do you do that all year long, or how long is a season for your dance company?
Our season typically begins in July and it'll go through the end of June. And during that season, we'll have our time at home in New York City where we're rehearsing in our Ailey studios on 55th and 9th. And then we'll have our winter season at City Center on 55th, and we'll have to be there for 5 weeks during the winter over the holiday season. And then from there, we'll prepare for our tour. So then we travel domestically and internationally from the East Coast, West Coast, North, South. We hit it all over the spring months, and then we head back to New York for our summer season. Um, s- Recently, we've been at BAM in Brooklyn, Brooklyn Academy of Music, which has been really fun because that audience is so amazing. Um, yeah, so it's just performance, rehearsal, and then here and there we have a couple weeks to rest.
That's amazing. So you are an accomplished dancer, and I was reading that you received the Silver Arts Award for the National Foundation of the Advancement of the Arts. Tell our audience about that. What was that like, and how did that come about?
Absolutely. Young arts was something that I think changed my trajectory in the dance world because I feel like I I grew up in a small town in North Carolina. I grew up in Charlotte, so it's not a small town, but the people that I knew and I grew up with, I feel like I didn't really have a lot of um, people who I knew who had moved to New York or moved away from home and experienced dance as a career. I felt like a lot of the people that I was around maybe went to college for dance, but I didn't know so many who had done it as a career. And so it was really important to me to experience young arts and be around so many people who loved dance and this is what they wanted to do. And that was the first time that I'd ever experienced that. And I got into it by the encouragement of my mentor, Denise Fritz Clark. She encouraged me to do it. And of course, my mother was on board with it because she loves anything scholarship related. And so I was just surrounded by artists who were passionate about their work, who knew what they wanted to do. And I'm so grateful for the Young Arts Organization for introducing me to that. They continue to encourage me throughout my entire career. They followed me throughout different experiences and different performances that I've done. And so it really feels like a home. It feels like a community.
Wow, that's amazing. But you've been recognized by other organizations too. Tell us about some of the other ones.
Absolutely. In 2017, I was honored with the Princess Grace Award in dance, and I feel like that's one of my most treasured accomplishments. Similar to Young Arts, they followed my career. They've been instrumental in keeping my name and keeping everything that I'm doing at the forefront. Very encouraging. And the Princess Grace organization is an amazing organization, and they have so much influence in the arts community, and they're doing such good work. So that's something that I'm really, really proud of as well. And then Dance Magazine, when I was an up and coming artist, I got recognized as 25 to watch, which is something that I also think gave me a lot of confidence and encouraged me a lot throughout my career. So I'm honored. I'm grateful. I feel like it's nice to know that the work that we put into this field in dance, is recognized and pays off.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so proud of you. I just met you, but I feel like I'm your mother, and I'm just so very proud of you.
Thank you.
So tell our audience, how did you come to dance with the world-renowned Alvin Ailey Dance Theater?
That's such a good question. Similar to Young Arts, my mentor at the time, but Denise Fritz Clark, she knew about Alvin Ailey right away. And I'd heard of Alvin Ailey in school. Of course, we study them in history class because they are American history. Um, but she said, you need to dance for Alvin Ailey. And she encouraged me to go to Fordham University. So I got my BFA from Fordham University in tandem with the Ailey School. And that's where I really got a firsthand introduction into the Ailey organization. And that was my first time seeing the Ailey Company on stage. I remember it was opening night, my freshman year. I was in the second row at City Center, and I could just see the power and the grace and the humanity just melting off of those dancers on stage. And I think that's the moment that I said, I need to be in this company. And I'm grateful that I spent 4 years in the Ailey school. My senior year, I was in Ailey 2, the junior company. And then the following spring, I was in the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater.
Well, you do your thing up there on stage with that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, you definitely do. Okay, let's talk about the band festival.
Okay.
Tell us about the band festival, everything we need to know about
Oh, good.
it.
You gave such a great introduction into the band festival. It's the fifth anniversary, and the festival was born out of the pandemic, when the arts community was rebuilding after so much isolation. So I feel like these top five companies kind of came together and said, let's give New York City what they want. They want to see us all on stage at the same time. And so it's a great mix of the cultures. It represents New York City so well because New York is a melting pot for culture and art and to see it all in one place at the same time. I think that's really what the Band Together Festival is all about. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see my contemporaries and my colleagues doing what their thing in their element and sharing it with the New York City community for free outside.
I will definitely be there.
Yay!
Um,
Okay, good.
So, how does it work? Do you usually do your own isolated performances, like each dance group does their own performances, or is there any time where you guys come out there all together?
In the past, there's definitely been a collaboration piece where different members of each company come on stage and work with a single choreographer and they're showcased all at the same time. as well as each company having their own work. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You get to see us all together, and then you get to see each company in their element doing what they do best.
What can the audience expect from the performances? What do you want them to take away from it?
I hope that they leave feeling the power of community, the power and the importance of diversity, and they expand their minds. I hope the Ailey audience comes to support Ailey and leaves falling in love with DTH. And I hope the ABT audience coming to support ABT and leaves falling in love with Ballet Hispanico. And I think that that's what the arts community is about.
Tell our audience where they can find more information about you, Alvin Ailey, and the band festival.
Absolutely. If the audience wants to find more information about me, Jacquelin Harris, they can find my Instagram, Jacqueline H. If they want to find more about Ailey, the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, Ailey 2, the Ailey School, the Ailey Extension, or any Ailey experience, they can find us at ailey.org, AILEY.org. If they want to come to the Band Together Festival, find out more information about Lincoln Center or somewhere in the city, they can find it out at lincolncenter.org.
Yay! Thank you, Jacqueline, so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing you on stage. Everyone, make sure you follow Jacqueline Harris. Make sure you follow the Alvin Ailey American Dance Company, as well as check out the Band Together, BAAND Together Dance Festival at Lincoln Center. And everyone, until next time, consider yourself Blacklit. Thank you.
Thank you.